Good morning, children. This video is for anyone working in the pyramid group. Please do the starter first, which is dividing numbers by 5, 3, 10 and 2. Today, children, we're going to be drawing and interpreting block diagrams, but through reasoning and problem solving. So our first question here is use the sentence stems to create 3 questions about the data below. So the first question is, how many fewer? Now, when we've got the word fewer, we want to find we're going to use a block here which is smaller than another block. So here we're going to use sparrow and magpie, because as we can see, sparrow has fewer amount of birds counted than magpies. So our question would read, how many fewer sparrows were there than magpies? And don't forget your question mark. We know fewer means a smaller amount, so we know by looking at our block diagram that there was only 25 sparrows and there was 30 magpies, so sparrows is less than magpies, so this question is written correctly. In total, how many? Now here we want to find 2 different amount of birds and add them together, so we can choose 2. Well, we'll choose the other 2 we haven't used. How many? We can say how many robins and thrush were there all together. How many robins and thrush were there? In total, how many robins and thrush were there? So we would get our person answering this question would add these 2 amounts, 20 and 10. And as they're in our 10 times table, 20 plus 10 equals 30. So now we can go, which bird? Now this one is going to ask us sort of like a question like, which bird was most popular? Which bird was least popular? So we'll do which bird was most popular. Which bird was most popular? So we're looking here, if we were to answer this question, we're looking at which one has got the tallest block. And as we can see, magpie is taller than the other 3, so magpie would be our answer. Our next question, it says here, who is correct? Explain why. So we've got our table here of different colour cars, red, blue, silver, black. Number counted, as we can see, it's going up in multiples of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Nina says, we counted 20 fewer blue cars than red cars. And Rory says, in total, we counted 13 red and silver cars. Who is correct? Explain why. Now, we could already identify, without looking at this, which one is correct and which one is incorrect. Now, I'm going to explain why the person who is incorrect first, and that is Rory. Now, as you can see, our scale goes up in tens, 10, 20, 30, 40. So the biggest difference between 2 different types of cars can only be 10. So our answer is always going to be a multiple of 10. Well, as we can see here, he hasn't got a multiple of 10 here. He's got 13. Now, the reason why he's done that is because what he's actually done is he's actually counted these as 1 rather than 10. So this block here represents 10, but Rory's counted it as 1. Because if we were to add these together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's how he's got the number 13. But remember, each block is worth 10. So we can say, and now we need to identify why Nina is correct. So Nina, we counted 20 fewer blue cars than red cars. Well, we can see that Nina is correct because there were 60 red cars and they're saying that there was 20 less. Well, each block is worth 10. There's a difference of 20 here because you've got 10 and 20. So we need to write this as into words onto our piece of paper. So I'm going to turn the page over to answer this question. So we know Nina is correct as 60 take away 40 equals 20. Rory is incorrect as he has counted up in ones rather than tens. So that's explaining how Nina is correct, but also proving why Rory is incorrect. So that's the second question done. Our last question is, look at the three sets of data below. What is the same? What is different? So here we've got a block diagram, a table and a tally chart. So we're going to, first off, we'll look at tennis. So it says here, tennis has got 6. But on here it says it's got 7. And on our tally chart, if we go back to our previous learning, when we have a gate on our tally, that is equal to 5. So what I'm going to do now is just write 5 here. So what is the same, what is different? So what's different is the data for tennis is different. We'll go to coding. Coding has 10 there, 11 there, and we'll see how many we've got here, 5, 10, 11. Well, what's the same here? The coding for the data for coding is the same in the tally chart and the table. So the data for coding is the same in the table and tally chart. We could also say as well that the data for coding is different in the block diagram than the table and the tally chart. Chess. There is 12 in our block diagram, 12 in our table, and we've got 5, 10, 11, 12. And we've got 12. So that says all our data, so the data for chess, is the same in all 3 diagrams. That's your input for today's learning. Please now go to task sheet and answer the questions. Best of luck.